Hi, this is Don Matteo, and you are listening to the Ought to Know Better podcast. Let's do this.
Leeds is shit.
We're recording, you know.
Oh, shit.
We're the good staff. I don't think we've got the personnel.
You can fucking laugh all you want, you absolute bellend.
I think about things. That's why you lot are idiots.
A melted version of a dick that's been shrink wrapped.
The absolute elite shithousery of this.
We need to find some more clips of him in that anorak, don't we? just to have a laugh, because we've been doing this for 5 years pretty much, and it'd be funny just to see like a timeline of Jay over the years.
It's 5 years now. We started in January. It's 5 years now.
Yeah, it's 5 years. Yeah. So, hello everybody. Welcome to Berardi and Coke, the post-match show from the Ought to Know Better podcast. I'm Smarty, and I'm joined by the follically challenged one, Mr. Gill. How are you today? This evening, should I say?
Pleased to meet you. Wouldn't want to be. I'm all right. It's been a study day today, so my head's a shed. So I'm looking forward to just spouting some complete bollocks that makes no sense to anybody. Yes.
Before anyone says anything, we didn't collab with any sort of attire that we're wearing. It just so happens we're both wearing yellow t-shirts, and it just happens we've got black hats on as well. So there you go. Hello everybody in the chat. Get your interactions going. We'll pop up some good stuff, probably even the bad as well, because that's just what we do. We're going to talk about the Newcastle match from the Wednesday night. How are you feeling initially? How are you feeling still? Because I've stopped myself going on social media. mainly after straight away after the game. I stopped it during our little bad spell of a run of the shit, should I say, when we were losing quite a lot, because emotionally probably not fit for purpose when I want to spout my mouth off and I'm fucking blurring away. So I don't really, to be honest, I don't really go on there much anymore anyway. But we've had a few days to mull it over, to look at highlights, to look at people's opinions in the social world, etc. How are you feeling now after a couple of days? Still pissed off?
It's still gutted, I think. I mean, less pissed off, but still gutted about it. Being in front 3 times and coming away without any points at all is horrendous. Especially when we're so desperate to just put that daylight or increase that daylight between us and the bottom 3. So I avoided social media. I'd actually joined a Newcastle podcast in the run-up. Called Through Black and White Eyes, and they're decent guys. I quite enjoyed it, and they looked after me, so they didn't give me any shit and all like that. It was quite nice chat to have, and I've had DMs from them since, and I've totally just ignored them.
Have you really?
Yeah, it feels really rude. I've not read them at all. I've not opened them just because I'm so fuming about it still. No, not upset, not angry, but. Just that being in a position where we could go 4 points behind Newcastle and Brighton or whoever else it was, people have pretty much said that Bournemouth are kind of out of the relegation battle. Well, we'd have been level with them just about. So, whether that's true or not, that's kind of what commentators of the game are saying.
I like that comment, by the way. Ian Watts is the creme de la creme of the Ought to Know Better tonight. Absolutely.
Ought to Know's better, though.
Ought to Know's better.
It's
not. Stats in this, guys.
Let's not make any bones about it. They're very good under the lights. They're very good at home. They've had a lot of money to pile into their squad. Eddie Howe's been there a long time. Has been able to get his ideas across to them. They know what they're doing. Miley's a very good player. I've watched him. Play for Newcastle 3 or 4 times now. He does remind me of Archie Gray. That's how I feel about him, because he's young, he's local, he's very assured on the ball, and he's playing out of position for him and doing well. Bruno Guimaraes is a very, very gifted footballer, and he's got everything in his locker. So going into that, and they've got pace on the wings, and they've got goals in them. So going into it, you're looking at that and you're thinking, away from home, our home form's been really good. But we're carrying some impetus. Unbeaten in 7. We've got a star man up front that's banging form. So let's go and impress that's DCL, by the way, but that could be mistaken for somebody else in this very short period. which I'm sure we'll come on to. So going into the game, I was thinking, I joined that podcast and I'm thinking, I'm not going to run my mouth because this is, let's make no bones about it. This is
we are on the thinnest of ice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I think on balance, if you're going to look at the run of fixtures that we've had, I was desperate to beat Chelsea. I was desperate to beat Liverpool, but going unbeaten against the champions is not to be sniffed at. Desperate to beat the scum, and we really should have done. So if you were going to offer me up, Palace are a bit, nah. Newcastle, I've never minded. They've always we've had ding-dong battles with them. We've had high-scoring games with them. You also remember the entertainment factor that they had when they had some really good players in the past. So I don't dislike them in the way that I do Scum, Liverpool, Chelsea, and others. If you were going to give me that list of fixtures, if one of them had to beat us, I might have picked Newcastle. So it's less frustrating in that sense. But just going back to the point, if you're in front 3 times in a match, you should not be coming away with nothing at all.
Apparently, we're the second team to ever do that. Go behind 3 times and still come away with fuck all. Do you know who the other team was?
Us.
Yes, it was us. Record set in 2022. And also a new record for the latest goal ever scored in a Premier League match as well.
Oh, I didn't know that one. Oh, wonderful.
Yes, I saw it today, actually. That's great.
Wonderful.
In fact, actually, ChatGPT told me when I was just looking through some. So there could be a smidge of a problem there. But, for what it's worth on its face-to-face, but, well, we'll see. So, yeah, I agree exactly what you said. Harvey Barnes, what a bastard, but a good player. He seems to be the modern-day Alan Shearer. He's always pretty much guaranteed to bag. Well, or, he's going to bag against us. And I wish I was kicking myself because, like I used to do with Ben Pearson, who used to play for Preston, I always used to stick a fiver on him to get a card against us or even sent off because it was guaranteed. You're guaranteed Harvey Barnes is going to score against us.
Craig McHale-Smith with another one, wasn't he? He was shit all season, and he just seemed to get a brace against us every season.
I don't know what it is. We have these things with these bloody players that haunt us all the chuffing time. If it's not an ex-player, it's bloody Harvey Barnes. He's like a pissing skeleton in the closet, isn't it? But disappointed to concede 2 in the 90th minute zone is a real kick in the knackers. And like you say, we played well. I didn't really see it as a massive banana skin. I knew it'd be challenging, but I thought we would be a little bit more defensively solid than we were. I think we just, like you say, we've been over this a few times, in the early part of the season when we say it's just those fine margins, those little lapses of concentration. Obviously, Perry's been in for a lot of stick, hasn't he? A lot of stick. Rightly and wrongly. I can understand why. I think he does have his weaknesses. It doesn't fill me with the most confidence, if I'm honest, especially from a £16 million keeper, which apparently is the going rate for a keeper these days. I thought that's quite a lot of money, but I'm wrong about that one. But would I be disappointed to see him being dropped and Darlow starting maybe a few games? No. I mean, that's obviously going to happen this weekend against Derby anyway. It's just going to happen. So it might be a Meslier situation where there's a little bit of heat being taken away from him over the weekend, and we'll probably see him for... Who do we play next, actually?
Derby.
No, after Derby in the league. Who do we play in the league next?
Fulham.
It is Fulham. You're right, it is Fulham. Is it Fulham at home? It is as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Fulham at home, he'd probably more than likely be back in net for that. But, we could go through the goals.
It depends how it goes, doesn't it? I mean, if you remember the Sheff Wednesday game, if Darlow plays like that, then he definitely won't stay in goal for the league game.
No, well, that's true. But Darlow's fairly solid, isn't he? He's a good keeper, but I don't think he'll get dropped. You know what Meslier is like. Meslier. You know what Farke was like with Meslier. He's number one keeper. He's not that keen on dropping him or whatever. And to be fair, he has called him out on a couple of bits. But that last goal, I've seen a lot of people calling him shit and fat bastard, and he should have saved it and this, that, and the other. And I'm trying to play devil's advocate. That's quite a difficult shot to kind of guess where it's going to go in through a wall of people. You probably weren't expecting it to come through, especially for him to twist twist and turn and fire one straight into that corner. Seeing it late, obviously. I don't know whether he's probably deserving of all the stick that he's getting. Yeah, he probably could have done better, and he might. I mean, I've seen XGs and all sorts of shit that's flying around saying, "No, he should have been serving it 86% of the time." I'm like, really? It's only slightly further back than a penalty, and a penalty's not that chuffing iron next year, I don't think. So I'm like, well...
I think there's an element where people are still smarting from the Scum game, though, where he came and stopped and
that was a mistake.
Handled that differently, and people carrying that into the Newcastle game, remembering that, and the fact that actually that's what led to. You can read it this way. There's all sorts of reasons that we drew with the Scum and didn't take all 3 points, but people remembering that, and then it happening so late in the game, and nothing happens after that to make you think of something else during the game. So that's one of the key takeaways, because it happened so late. So it is difficult for him.
What do you think too? A couple of shots for some extra yellow cards. Joe Linton, Steve Brown says Joe Linton could have seen red for that dive and then descent, but got away with it. Not to mention the pullback really early on. There were a few things that I thought that fucker should have seen red ages and ages ago, or at least a few yellows. He should have been yellowed on about 3 or 4 occasions.
So Barnes did a pullback, didn't get booked. Then it? I can't remember who it was that pulled him back, but it was almost exactly the same offence, and they got booked for it. Thiaw got booked in the first 6 or 7 minutes, and then was adjudged to have handballed in the box. Well, Ampadu got a yellow card for less than that. So Thiaw should be sent off. He's taken off at half-time because they know that he should have been sent off. Joe Linton dives, rightfully gets a yellow card for it because it was a shocking dive. It was terrible, and gets up and applauds the referee. Now, I don't know if you've seen Jack Grealish from the other night getting sent off for sarcastically applauding the referee. So there's 5 bookings there, 2 of them for the same. All right, albeit 2 of them were given. But the Thiaw first booking was definitely a booking, and then there was a handball that didn't get booked for. Joe Linton could have been booked 3 times in the game. So I think by and large, the referee actually had an all right game. I don't think he had an awful game.
He got the main decisions right.
Compared with some of the officiating we've had this season, I didn't think he was too bad. That says a lot for the officiating we've had so far this season, rather than saying a lot for the referee that we had in this game. But I didn't think he had too much wrong. But it is galling that they're in the ascendancy really late on, because they've come back into it for a 3rd time, when in reality we should be able to pin them back in their box because they're only playing with 9 men.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That was one thing I did notice, and I was quite keen on speaking to you about. Did you watch on the Sky stream?
I watched live on Sky Sports.
Yes. Did you get the kind of vibe that they were absolutely desperate for them to get a winner towards the end of the game? Yeah. I mean, all throughout, wasn't it? Yeah, all throughout. I think there's an element of can we encourage Newcastle to get into that upper echelon of the Premier League, because then it's going to make it more of a compelling product. And I think that's all that Sky are about, isn't it? Is being able to sell clicks, being able to sell coverage. That commercial element of it.
Yeah. So whether that is an unintended bias or not, there's certainly a bias there. And let's not get away from it. We're talking about a side that is literally the richest club in the world that we've gone up against. It's
as well. We did really, really well. I mean, the momentum graph is literally backwards and forwards. That second half, I mean, they've put it down as one of the best games of the season, perhaps one of the best games of the decade. I wouldn't go that far. Especially from our point of view, when we've come away with nothing after leading the frigging game 3 times.
Yeah.
But it was a decent game, and sometimes I think, it's an absolute kick in the knackers. You do not want to concede, and we've made a habit of conceding in the 90th plus minutes very, very well, quite often this season already. But it's difficult in it. I mean, like I say, it would have banana skin this one. I'm disappointed, but on the other hand, it was quite a good game to watch. And sometimes
it would have been brilliant for neutral.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Exactly. Yeah, true. And I would, like I say, a couple of lads from work were saying, it was a really, really good game. I'm like, piss off, you wankers. For you, it might have been. For us, obviously, Leeds fans, it's a proper kick in knackers. But again, like I say, it wasn't a bad a game. And I suppose if we'd have played really, really shit and then lost, then you can think, we probably didn't deserve it. we played really, really well, and not many teams go to St James's Park and get a result. So for us to go, like you say, toe to toe with them and actually, make a good performance. A lot of their fans have been honest and saying fair play to Leeds. Crack on. Good luck for the rest of the season. All that sort of mumby bullshit that I don't really give a fuck about normally. But you got to take it, and we had to lose at some point, and I'm glad it was just against them and not the scum, if I'm honest, or against Liverpool, because I can't stand them fans. We've got Arsenal on the horizon, haven't we, as well, soon? That'll be interesting at home.
We have. But at home, I expect us to put in a bit of a better showing than... a bit of a better showing. I don't think we played all that badly, to be honest, at their point. It was just everything that they ate on target flew in.
Yeah.
And that was the difference, really, on the day. I didn't think we were that bad, but, we are very much still on a decent run. If you look at an 8-game run, and in there, you've played the champions. You've played a club that calls themselves the champions of the world. You've played the side with the best away record in their away fixture. The side with the best home record, unbeaten all season, in their home fixture, and come through all of those and only lost one in the last 8. I mean, that's an incredible run. Yeah,
it is good going. And to maintain that gap over West Ham, Burnley, and obviously Wolves as well, who had a little bit of a flash. But I think the Wolves' tails have sprung to life. I think I've heard a few, especially on the Square Ball podcast, where a few of them are thinking that they're going to survive this.
Oh, I mean, that would be the greatest comeback since Lazarus.
It would, absolutely.
I can't see it. I really can't see it. They're going to have to get 4 more wins than we do all season.
Yeah. I think so.
To overcome us. Forest would be interesting because Sean Dash is under a lot of pressure and Marinakis might sack somebody else again.
Quite possibly. I'm surprised. It's, and like you say, Nuno, I don't think he's got long left. In fact, he could be doing a bloody hammer him and trying to do a bit of a dodgy frigging news conference and trying his absolute best to get sacked.
Get himself out.
Just get himself sacked. I can't be asked for this.
I'm a football manager, get me out of here.
Yeah. I'm not supposed to train the players. They're supposed to train themselves. What an absolute dipstick. Dr. Cox says from the corner before the goal, when it cleared, Perry was waving his arms, celebrating. Then the cross comes back, and he switched off. He's a very weak keeper, and whoever the goalkeeper. That might be a typo. And whoever the goalkeeper.
I don't know. Has he followed it up with something else? Oh, whoever the goalkeeper coach is at Leeds is questionable.
Oh, sorry. Yes, there's a few. Oh, sorry. I've just turned it off. I like, is this a quiz? Is this a riddle we're gonna have to solve? Yeah, you're right. I think, but again, the thing is with Perry, as frustrating as he is, and we'll talk about another frustrating player, especially one of your favourites in a little bit. But as frustrating as he is, he does come up.
My favourites in this one.
Yeah, he does pull off some absolute mega saves, and is it just one of them that he's got a bit of a mistake in him and such and such. But when you contrast that with Darlow's howlers that he's had a couple, and then Mellier's not even in the chat, is he? He is completely not even in the same league of absolute balls.
Agreed.
So what we've got to assume and appreciate is that the quality of shot and the quality of players that he's having to save shots from is much, much higher than what we would have expected to see in the Championship and what a lot of us are used to seeing. They are very, very good players, and we've seen this time and time again. If a player's one-on-one with say Meslier were good shot stopper one-on-one situations, there's a good chance that Meslier will get to the ball and will save that in the Championship because that's just what they are. Players aren't the superior sort of level. In the Premier League, you give a good striker a sniff, and it's guaranteed to be a goal because they are that good. And these players obviously playing at this level. They know what they're doing. They know exactly where to put the ball. They know exactly how to balance themselves, etc. The shot quality is much, much higher. I think sometimes we've just got to appreciate that. Although, like I said, he does have a bit of a clanger in him every now and again.
Yeah, true. So I think, but so there's so many things you can point out. So Perry certainly for the last one, poor. But I just touched upon when you were saying about favourite players. I thought Struijk made some egregious errors in decision making. I think he's somebody that if he's going up against someone, certainly if the ball's in the air, fine. He's going to win his fair share of the ball in the air, and he's strong in a tackle. I'm not worried about that. But he bombs out of the line. Now, with a 3 at the back instead of a 2, sometimes you get away with it, but he's so keen to come out of the line, and he's so slow, he don't get there.
Yeah, Scum's a perfect example.
Yeah, absolutely that. But then you look at that where Miley's kept the ball in at corner flag and everybody's just totally switched off. He's got half an hour to sort himself out, come back, get the ball and get it into the middle. And that is so poor, because that is just dead straightforward. You don't give that up. You make sure. Again, it's like we talked about in previous podcast where we've conceded a goal just after scoring. You are coached as kids. Don't give anything away. You're most vulnerable are just after you've scored. Don't give anything away early on. Make sure.
Yeah.
And you were not. It's the naivety that's, I think, most frustrating for me, because it's so avoidable. And you're right. They're so good at this level that you make a mistake, you get punished.
Yeah. Michael Gott says it's okay anyway because we've got an FA Cup run to look forward to.
For all of 90 minutes?
Quickly, what are your thoughts on that? Because we won't have... I mean, we might, obviously... Well, I don't know if we'll do a Berardi Cup, but we'll certainly cover it in the main pod next week. But what are your thoughts going into the Derby game, just briefly?
I think if
you bothered?
Not particularly. I think it's lost a lot of its appeal as an event. Even the final has lost a lot of its appeal. But as a tournament, the fact that it sold its soul for very, very little to the National League, so that there's no replays and whatever else. I just think both cup competitions are really secondary, totally secondary to Premier League, and I think it would be lovely to get proper silverware. But we absolutely need to cement our position in this league. And I think if you look at Nonto, you look at Tanaka, Bornau's played a fair bit recently, but I expect him to play. Darlow will, like you said, Darlow will play. Pirot will get some minutes. It's useful for us to get minutes into people that otherwise aren't getting a game at all. Sam Byron might swap. If we stick it 3 at back, Byron might be one of the centre backs. Whatever that might be, Aaronson might play at wing back. Whatever it is, it gives minutes to people that haven't played and shouldn't. Yeah. They're not getting in ahead of others for a reason. But the cup games are an opportunity to do that, whereas the Premier League is so important, you can't really afford it.
It's an interesting take from Sly, then, that says FA Cup overstaying in the Prem.
Oh, no way. No way. We've seen your squad just gets picked to bits if you get relegated.
Wigan did that, though, didn't they? They won FA Cup, didn't they? And then went down. But the thing is now...
They're in Europe, weren't they? They're in Europe and the Championship.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to Europe and, what are you going to do? Would you rather go back to... Would you rather, I suppose, go do a bit of a run in Europe and then, lose out on getting promoted in the Championship? It's bullshit, innit? I mean, I suppose, like you say, giving the lads a bit of a run out, those that are fringe players, a little bit of youth, or a little bit of youth, not mainly bloody youth,
Chambers.
Like Bielsa used to.
Well, Chambers has been on the bench, so let's give him a run out, because if he's going to be on the bench, then he needs a game. But that would be it, a smattering of it.
It's going to be your Harrisons, your Greys, your, like you say, your Chambers, your Darlows, etc. It's going to be with a smattering of senior players, those that probably need the minutes back into the legs. Maybe Jayden Bogle, maybe not. They might not want to risk him. I probably wouldn't, if I'm honest. Byram, etc. It's going to be them sort of players in it. And like I say, I'm particularly not asked. It's one of the reasons I'm not going on Sunday as well, because I thought, you know what, I just don't care. And I wouldn't want to get I wouldn't want to get excited for it, because actually there's usually a little bit of niggle between us and Derby, and I thought, no, but we'll probably lose, and then it'll just be miserable coming home, and I just thought, I just can't be bothered. So I'll watch it, not be asked about the outcome either way. But yeah, I just wanted to get your take on it, because like for me, I'm same. I'd much rather just sack the FA Cup off and concentrate on staying in this league. Maybe, and I think I've always said this. I even said this last time when we were up a few years ago. That I said, when we're an established Premier League team, and we're a general run of the mill, maybe looking towards Europe, but kind of hovering in the in between is. That's when I'd like to go on a bit of a cup run.
Yeah.
Because
Palace,
it gives you an extra
Brighton.
little bit. Exactly. It gives you an
That's
extra
all,
little bit of focus or whatever, as well as doing something else. So then it's fine. When you're fighting relegation, is a no.
Yeah, agreed.
For me. So yeah, but yeah, FA Cup over staying in the Prem, definitely not Sly. It'd be interesting to
Not
see
for
what
me.
other people think. I have got a couple of starred comments which I'm quickly going to go through. There was an interesting one about it's from Mark Wright, and he says, "What do you think of Perry throwing out long instead of kicking it?"
Well, I mean, I don't really care. He's really good at throwing it out, and he's not particularly good at kicking it. So,
I have said this. I had this conversation against Scum on Sunday, and I says, go on. In fact, I shouted, "Chuck it! Chuck it!" And he actually did. I don't think he was going to frigging boot it anyway, but I'm going to chuck it because you can't fucking kick for shit. Bloody harpoons it straight into frigging West Stand. Yeah, for me, Mark, I don't really mind. Yeah. What I used to like when we used to play Bielsa ball is the release of the football from Melia. Melia didn't often used to throw it or whatever, but I like it being thrown out quickly. You see Alisson and a few other players, a few other keepers do it. It's good. When it's effective, it's good. If you've got a bit of a slow build-up and more possession-based, it doesn't really work. But when I suppose if you I mean, he's a bloody big unit, isn't he, Perry, as well? So if you've got a load of players around you and you can chuck it over their heads rather than having some dickhead trying to stand on you, to stop you throwing it or whatever, get it wanging straight up to Dominic, then it's an effective thing, isn't it? So it can't. Exactly, it's not a bad thing. It can't be.
But that's why I think I would quite like to see how Nonto played off DCL because without Dan James being around, he's one of our quickest players, and he does scare defenders. And you look at their defence, Cher, Tiao, big units. They're going to win a lot in the air. Dan Burn didn't play, but he's a bigger mould, isn't he? What they don't want is little fast players running at them with the ball at their feet. They don't want that. Try to turn round and make a tackle as somebody quick's running at you. So I think.
Speaking of which, Matthew. One player did it on a couple of occasions, didn't they? On Wednesday,
they did, absolutely did.
This guy,
you can see that
this guy,
you can see that they back off whenever the ball's at the feet.
Didn't like it.
Because they're so big, it's difficult to be as nimble as the attacker that's running at you when they've got the ball at the feet. So, they don't like that, and I think the more that we can do that, Okafor's particularly good at it because his feet are so quick when he's got the ball. Nonto's fast over the ground. Aaronson's doing really well at the minute. So we've got that, and if we can get those players in and around DCL, that's been the same message for the last 3 pods.
It's mad, isn't it? It's mad.
If we can get those players in and around DCL, then he's going to win the ball. Yeah, we can be confident he's going to win the ball. 9 times out of 10, he's going to be able to do something with it. And invariably, however he does it, I don't understand how he gets to hang time. It's almost like, when you're playing Rocket League and you jump, but you can jump again. We shouldn't be able to do that in real life. But he seems to be able to do it somehow. And he picked out a player with it while he's in the air, and he's just really adept at it. And we've got to take advantage of it.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Brendan Aaronson then? Totally. Let's delve a little bit deeper into it.
I think there are elements where he still frustrates, but he's elevated his game. Now, it remains to be seen as to whether he can maintain the level that he's at the moment. And if he does, fair play. I've always been an advocate of a manager, whether it's England, whether it's Leeds, picking players on form, and this is the form of his life.
You get this a lot, don't you?
I do, yeah.
Jamie says, I'm not sure if Gilly likes Americans.
What's this here?
Yeah. He's said this, to be fair to him, he has said this on numerous occasions. It's not because he's American. It's not because he's American.
And I think Jamie's tongue-in-cheek, because
I think he is.
He's with us regularly, and there's quite a bit of that. But yeah, I think, so you can't knock him. The finish against the Scum, 2
Very
finishes
well
against Newcastle, they are good finishes, and one of the biggest criticisms is whenever he's got time to think, he fucks it up, and he's not doing that at the moment. So fair play to him.
There are glimpses when he tries to do too much, but obviously if his confidence is high, let him crack on, because he's so good in those little tight spaces.
Sly's backing this up here. I'm American and I don't like Americans. Don't blame you.
Oh dear, we'll be getting labelled. But yeah, I think
we do have actual American friends.
Yes, we
you know
do.
that we for a long time on Twitter, that we've had on as guests on here, that we've met up with in town. You know, we do have American friends.
We've had some friends come over from all over the US to come, so mainly Wisconsin, but all over the US and to come over and have a beer with us. So yes, we do like our American friends very much so. But yeah, Brendy, he's getting better, and I knew there'd be a massive question mark over him, and I knew people would be moaning and groaning, and you know, and sometimes it's deserved because no one's ever free of any sort of criticism. He does have his weaknesses, but he, like you said, he's just completely elevated his game this season. He's a really effective player. He had a couple of absolute stinkers and he was taken out of the team. And then he's been reintroduced and he's just been brilliant, and he just does not stop running. The guy is literally... He's just a Duracell battery. He just does not stop running, does he? His fitness levels must be absolutely chuffing sky high.
Well, and the thing that you have to say as well is very, very, very late in the game when he got back and made a clearance, he was limping, and he still ran.
Yeah.
Ran. So you know, and you know what? When it comes to players that play for Leeds, he's not somebody that's going to put in a big tackle that the crowd appreciates. He's not that sort of player.
That's cool.
What a mug.
Nice cup.
Yeah, he's well. I've got this one's not bad.
Yeah, that's a nice mug.
Our crowd really appreciates somebody who's going to put in a big meaty tackle. Longstaff's got it in him. Ampadu does it regularly. Even Stroik does it. Rodon does it. Biol does it. You know, and we appreciate when they're putting those big meaty tackles. He's not that sort of player, but we also appreciate somebody that works.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I know that should be the minimum. We're talking about professional athletes at the elite level in the best league in the world. It should be a minimum. But it's not always. If you look at Paquetá playing for West Ham, if he had the work ethic of Aaronson, he'd be twice the player.
Yeah, he would, yeah.
So, you know, I think there's that to be said as well. And I think the system also seems to really work for him. I would say that as well. Farke's found a system that brings the best out of DCL. It brings the best out of our centre-backs. And we can set a midfield up so that we don't get dominated in there. And it's really working for him. I've already held my hands up a few times about Farke and said I thought he was on his way out. You know, half time at Man City, nobody saw that coming.
To be fair,
yeah. So you know, I think you know, there are a couple of people. To be fair, I had Rodon among them. How he got through that entire game, by the way, is absolutely incredible. He must be Superman.
I couldn't believe it when I saw his name on team sheet. Well, like, am I seeing things? What Rodon start?
He's back a week early, and then he played 100,000 minutes or however long that game was. But so I had Rodon as one of them. I had Ampadu as another, and I think it really did as not having him against the scrum. But DCL's an absolute linchpin for the entire thing, and without him, we look half the tide at points because he's just a focal point for everything, isn't he?
Absolutely.
But he's found a way. Farke's found a way, and we are very, very competitive. And long may that continue.
Yeah. For the benefit of the audio listeners, Oliver C. has said, Aaronson and DCL are gelling. It's great to see. I said something similar the other day to one of the guys that I was with, and I said, you can see that their relationship, that they're learning from each other, they are gelling, they're getting better together. Amongst others, to be fair, but those two specifically, you kind of see the through ball that they're trying to play to each other, and they're always looking for each other, and that's exactly what you want in this league. A pair of players that can play, you know, that sort of sixth sense, you know, Kane and Son, etc., and absolutely frigging shitloads of others. But you need a pair of people that are up front. I thought Metcher and DCL together would be quite good. We saw it against Chelsea and we saw it against Palace. How effective they can be when you've got two big bastards that you can just lump a big ball up to. But again, on the flip side, you know, you've got someone that's quite technical and will not stop running and pressing, and someone that's clearly got a finish on him as well, as Aaronson, can also, you know, caveat DCL's strengths, bringing that ball down and playing him in. It's kind of a perfect marriage, really. And hopefully that bond gets stronger and that relationship and the gel better. And like I say, there's a glimmer of it being really, really successful duo.
Yeah.
And long may it continue.
Absolutely.
Ian Ward says conceding late on comes down to game management. Do you think something was on Farker?
Well, there's in-game management and then there's the managerial approach, isn't there? I think there were people. Stack is in real good form, I would say, and there's some stats. I don't know if you've seen them, but
no,
there's some
not on Stack. No,
there's some stats about him. Anton Stack, he's from Johnny Cooper as always because his stats brilliant. Anton Stack is the only player in the Premier League this season making 2+ tackles, having 2+ shots, and creating 2+ chances per 90 minutes. He's the only player to do that for a newly promoted club in any of the last 15 seasons. That's quite incredible, I think. But from 60 minutes, he was fucking knackered.
Yeah, he was.
And you could see it was like he was running in treacle. And if we can see that, the changes just need to be more dynamic. And it's not all on Farker because I think he set us up in a way that we were playing against a very, very good team. And not only were we competitive, but to my mind, we should have come away with all three. Let alone the one that we didn't get. So I don't think it's all on Farker, but he can't make Struijk and Goodmanson be more alive to the ball being stopped on the corner flag to such an extent a player can take 8 steps to stop himself because he was sprinting at full pelt, turn round, come back and get it and cross it in. That's not on Farker.
No, it's not.
I think the other thing is, Joe Linton's finish. Gramares' ball in with the outside of his boot.
That was just filthy, wasn't
and
it?
Joe Linton's finish into the corner with the back of his head. Some things you can't legislate for.
It was like Calvert-Lewin's finish against Wolves when he just kind of just flicked it. It was just a little. Obviously, we just positioned a little bit lower, but yeah, I mean,
that
then
ball
the sort
in
of
was
finishes.
amazing.
Mate, but that's what I'm on about. The quality of this league. You got to. You can't really berate a keeper when you've got quality like that sat in front of you.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you would like a keeper to make the most amazing saves. Everyone would do, but unfortunately, you're not gonna do. I think the Aaronson's first goal against Pope. There's argument he should have saved that. From that angle, really, and quite a distance away as well. He was good 10, 15 yards away from him.
Yeah.
There's argument that Pope should have saved that, but you don't see any Newcastle fans going, "Oh, fucking get rid of him," because they obviously 3 points, softens the blow, etc.
You say that on that pod that I were on before the game, they were very, very surprised that I went for Pope in there over Perry.
Oh, really?
And that's because their fan base don't rate Pope.
I didn't get to that bit. I did watch it. I got to you talking about Dominic Calvert-Lewin and a few of theirs and what have you. But I
wasn't having anybody up front but him. But no, they were very surprised that I went for Pope in net, and I think Pope's a good keeper. And I think if you offered,
we were interested in.
Yeah, if you offered our fan base a straight swap between Perry and Pope, I think it would be. If you did a poll on it, it'd be 100% one way.
Well, we were rumoured with him. I don't know if it was last season. It certainly was again this season that we might be in for Pope. Yeah. And people are like, "Oh yeah, he's a decent enough keeper and what have you." I mean, obviously Darlow would up at Newcastle as well.
Yeah.
Playing second fiddle to Pope or whatever. So, they are, relatively solid keepers, but they're not the best keepers in the world. Fucking Chelsea will sign the best keepers in the world fucking year after year after year, and they're always really shit because they're not used to playing frigging the quality of playing in the Farmers League when you've got a frigging whoever else, taking shots at you. It's a completely different kettle of fish here. And I know people are saying, obviously the Spanish leagues and etc. Yes, they are good. I'm not saying they're not. But the Premier League is the absolute creme de la creme of football.
It is.
And, the keepers that are absolutely... If you get found out in this league, you get found out.
I'll just point out that I'm now opening this, which was a Christmas present from our lass's son.
A bottle of Guinness.
Not just Guinness.
Foreign extra stout.
This is 7.5% Guinness.
And you're drinking it out of a bottle?
Well...
You're not going to put it in there, are you?
I'll be drinking it out of a virtuous
Kirkstone glass. Dear. You do realise we've got quite a large Irish following here that will be fucking writing email after email. And rightly so as well, because that's sacrilegious.
It's not on tap.
Do you need a Guinness glass? I've got some proper Guinness glasses. You can just have one of mine if you want.
In fact, I've got several.
Oh, my God. I'm sorry. to our Irish people, our Irish friends. That,
you know that
watch
includes
this
me.
podcast.
My family name's Ruane.
Yeah, I know, but you're not actually Irish, though, are you?
I'm not Irish.
I'm on about the real. I'm not on about the plastic ones. I'm on about the real ones that you've quite clearly will have offended.
Like the Italian ones.
Butcher! Oh my God! Look at that. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everyone in Ireland. I'm sorry. That's just absolutely bollocks. How are you going to split the G now? Says Mark Wright.
It is not nitro. It is not a hand pump drawn. It's just a nice drink.
Oh dear. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But not like served in that filth.
To be fair, I've never tried this. This could be awful. It's nearly twice the strength.
I hope it is. Genuinely. On behalf of everyone watching this that's probably Irish, I fucking hope it is. And I hope you drown. I hope you drown in it.
Thanks, mate. Not
Mark Wright says, isn't it the handball for the pen not a yellow because he gave them a penalty? So it's a double jeopardy rule. Just asking, as I've not a clue these days about handball.
I can say that if you like.
Yes.
The double jeopardy
it's fucking subjective, and it's like with frigging VAR.
Double jeopardy is not. It is a concept that IFAB brought in, and it was if you are trying to play the ball and you give away a penalty, it's that thing of you lose a player and effectively you lose a goal. So it's if there is a foul, you are attempting to play the ball and there's a penalty given. Well, on that, if he was attempting to play the ball, then it's an intentional handball and therefore at least a yellow card.
Yeah.
If you're in a position where there is that approach, double jeopardy does not apply because it's not a foul.
No.
And it is only a denial of a goal scoring opportunity through a foul. So double jeopardy wouldn't apply to that. It's just a handball, and he should have been sent off because he was already booked.
The Aaronson handball pissed me off a little bit because you can clearly see he's gone to turn his back and his hands are up here and it struck him up here.
Well, it struck him and then his arms come out because the ball's hit it.
Because the ball's hit it, exactly. Yeah. It's just hit his hand, and for me, I understand. I thought the penalty that they gave to us were a little bit harsh, if I'm honest, because he's bent over, and whether he meant to lift his arm out of the way, I don't know. I don't think someone would intentionally just move their arm in that sort of direction to block a ball. But he did. He moved it towards the ball. That ball that's hit Aaronson has come directly at him. He's turned, and like you say, it's hit his hand away. To me, that's not intentional.
So I don't know if you know this bit, but if just before a goal is scored, there is any contact with any part of a hand or arm that would otherwise be deemed a handball, the goal is disallowed, regardless of intent. And Barnes' winner hit his hand before he scored it.
Yeah. I've seen a few people say that.
So
I didn't actually see that on the day.
I didn't see it either, but that's something that's been missed because it doesn't matter about intent anymore. Intent is not part of the rule.
Yeah.
I think if there's intention, then you're running the risk of a red card, but it's still on ball and should still have been disallowed. I think it's harsh, but it doesn't matter what we think about how harsh it is. That's what the rule says. That is what the law of the game says. There's no rules; there are laws. We know that from Carl's friends back home. But it is again. It would be really harsh, but the Aaronson one was really harsh.
It was harsh.
It has to be the letter of the law. Sending Joe Linton off for sarcastically applauding the referee is absolutely ludicrous. But literally on the same night, Jack Grealish was sent off for the same thing. You need consistency.
And that's what I'm saying every single time, and it's down to interpretation and the referee's interpretation of the rules, and it's just like you say, just inconsistent throughout. It's not just us; it's absolutely everyone. Every team will cry about inconsistencies throughout the and however many letters that the PGMOL will send out to however many teams over the course of a season. It's just like fucking hell. Ian says, "Have you ever tried the champagne Guinness? It has an acquired taste."
Is that a black velvet?
Champagne Guinness.
What's a black velvet? Black velvet's a cocktail. I think it's a. I think that might be what it is. That might be Prosecco or just sparkling wine, whatever it might be. But yeah, so the answer is no.
Filth.
I have not. I tend not to mix. Although you're all calling me sacrilegious for having Guinness in a non-Guinness glass, I tend not to mix Guinness with other stuff. I would do it with lager and cider and black, but I would not do it with Guinness.
You shouldn't mix anything with Guinness.
I do like a baby Guinness, but there's no actual Guinness in that, so I think that's okay.
not. Yeah, it's not Guinness. Jamie says, I remember the arm to ball. I think it means ball to hand, maybe. I don't know. But if you remember, in our first season when we came back, I think it was against Liverpool, we got a handball in the penalty, and they changed the rule the week after.
Well, they got a handball and a penalty, yeah.
Yeah, they did against us, yeah, and they changed the rule the week after. In fact, there were a couple of rules that got changed because of us. I think the sleeve, the offside sleeve thing with the pointing as well from against Palace for Patrick Bamford.
They did change that.
I thought they did.
They didn't change it at all. They said they were going to put a little bit more governance around what had actually been said so that people understood what it meant. But then the very following week, the VAR referee that had given it against Bamford pointed at the same place that they said Bamford was offside for to say that wasn't an offence.
I remember it being totally different. Yeah, exactly. I remember it being a bit controversial at the time, but yeah, it's like you said, it's just inconsistent. Yeah. But that it is what it is. You're never gonna win, are you? Really? Let's be right bloody honest. One more. Johnny says earlier, said, evening chaps, did you have a good birthday, James? Yes, I did, thank you, Johnny.
I was going to mention it. He's stolen my thunder a little bit. I was going to mention it, but never mind.
What about my birthday?
Yeah, I was going to sing to you, but fuck it.
Well, why didn't you do it right at the start?
No, you can bollocks now.
You're going to get your guitar out as well?
No.
Paul Brennan says, R.I.P. to Terry, another Don Revier, who has sadly passed away. Prayers and condolences to family and friends. Apparently, Gabby was presenting and had to shoot off, didn't she?
Oh, shit.
Apparently so. And this is the day before, obviously, it was announced that he'd passed away. But, I think Gabby Logan was presenting. Was it Match of the Day or... Does she do Match of the Day now? What does she do? She does something. I don't really watch Match of the Day anymore, so I haven't got a freaking clue. But she was presenting something, and that she had to dart off quickly. So I'm guessing something has clearly happened, which is a really, really shame. But yeah, Terry Orth, what a player, what a legend.
I don't know if you saw, but he literally wore every single outfield number as well.
All of them. I didn't know that.
At points, he wore every single outfield number, which is just that's it. I mean, that was when, and that's 2 to 12 when you only had one sub. So it was literally every number of a match day except in net.
Yeah, there's a few people sat now confirming. Yeah, it was Match of the Day.
Right.
What a shame. What a shame. He'd been poorly for a little while, though, hadn't he? He had his struggles and stuff.
Well, he had, and just because we just played them and people were talking about it before the game as well. Is opposition or not. Thoughts are with Kevin Keegan and his family as well. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, I never minded Keegan. I remember obviously some of the old classic clips where our lads are having a bit of a scuffle with him. Specifically Norman Hunter and Billy Bremner.
Well, specifically about 8 of us on one of him.
Yeah, specifically them smashing the shit out of him. But he was a cracking player. Won Ballon d'Or and everything, didn't he?
Twice won Ballon d'Or.
He was a great player and a really, really good manager as well. And obviously he's very, very close to the hearts of those for Newcastle. So,
I would have loved it if they'd have beaten them as well.
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind Newcastle. To be fair, they're a team and fans that I tend to get on with. I don't really have much bad to say about them. I know they're a little bit more entitled than they used to be now because of the money and all that sort of stuff. They thought they were signing Mbappe and they've ended up signing fucking bloody Gordon. But they're a big club.
You mean
big,
Princess
good
Di?
Following and good fan base.
Well, actually, I mentioned Princess Di on that podcast, and they call him Claire Balding.
I always refer to him as Claire Balding. I was literally just going to say, Claire. What a picture. So apart from we'll close it out now because we've been rambling on for nearly an hour. Who was your let's pick a man of the match from one of our lads. Who was your man of the match on the day?
I think it's really difficult to look beyond. When you've scored 3, it's difficult to look beyond the attack. And I think you could give it either way. I think you could give it Aaronson, but I think you could give it DCL. He is really important to us. Yeah. One of them got 2 goals, and one of them got a goal and assist. But just so that everybody can cream themselves in the comments, I'll give it Aaronson.
Yeah, I think you'd be hard pressed to not give it him. There were some good shouts for. And again, the lads played really, really well. And it's so disappointing. But you can see how knackered they are. You could just see how knackered most of them were.
Yeah.
It's just a shame that we don't have a little bit more quality and depth. But it'll come. Hopefully, we'll invest a little bit better in January. Hopefully.
Come on now.
I know.
That's a good one.
Well, we've been linked with a few players, and I do think that listen, Farker's done his job. The team have done their job.
No, hang on. No, you are absolutely right with what you're about to say. Sorry, finish that off because I want you to say it.
So like I say, it's now time for the board to back Farker and back the team, bring in reinforcements, and let's get this fucking season done and dusted with us being safe. Let's climb a little bit higher in the league. Let the pressure simmer down a little bit, and let's just enjoy it, like we did in the first season when we were back in 2021. Let's just enjoy it. Let's just enjoy the Premier League, because I am starting to, if I'm honest, I'm going into these games a little bit more confident than I would have done.
What we should do is 7 unbeaten.
Exactly. So you just want to see those 1-pointers turning into 3-pointers, and I think there's a good opportunity against some of the teams that are coming up to do so, especially at home. But I'll let you say what you were going to say.
I think it is right. I was going to ask you actually, just on the basis of what you just said, is who you have seen as linked with, because I thought it had been really quiet.
It was a few weeks ago. I see some stuff with Jer, and Jer's usually a really, really good source of information. The View, if those of you who don't know who Jer is, you should do, because he's really, really good. He's won some awards this year actually as well. Really good content creator. But he's for your daily news and stuff like that, you should be going to him, because he's got some good sources in amongst the club as well. It's usually pretty spot on, and he has been reporting a few bits of interest. Nothing certain. I know.
So Callum Wilson, I've seen have been linked with, because it looks like West Ham are going to release him. I won't mind him. He's somebody that can come on and make a difference. He can hold the ball up. He's still got a bit of pace about him, and he knows where the goal is. I think he started 8 games. He's got 4 goals and an assist for West Ham. And so I wouldn't be. And they're looking to move him on, because they brought in Tete Castellano, that I would not be bothered about at all. I watched him quite a bit in MLS when we were linked, and I wasn't excited by him at all. No. And somebody called Pablo that's absolutely not allowed to be called Pablo, because he's not
should not be called Pablo.
No, shouldn't be allowed. So I think he would be somebody that you could potentially get on a pay-as-you-play. Yeah, I'd be okay with that. And I think all of the sides around us, they've all got probably more. Oh no, I have seen a centre back. You are right.
I think there were another Red Bull forward as well, or something that I'm a bit like, I don't know about.
Right.
But bits and bobs, nothing solid.
It would be incredible, because the point I was about to make is the point that Oliver's made here. We've signed Metro on a free. We've signed DCL on a free. You then go and you pick up Callum Wilson on a free, and all season all we've done is play with strikers that we signed for nothing. Yeah, and you've got clubs all around. West Ham has spent a lot of money on their squad. Forest has spent a lot of money on their squad, and we're currently ahead of them with 3 strikers. And it would just be incredible to be able to get to the end of the season not having spent you say not having spent a bean on strikers. They will be doing very well in terms of wages and signing on fees and whatever else. It's not going to be cheap for us, but we're not spending 30, 40, 50 million pounds on strikers, and we're still scoring goals. So, I think West Ham have played their hand. I think they've played it quite early. If Bowen goes, I don't think there's anybody talking about it, but if Bowen goes, they're down.
was,
much of it is reliant on him.
Did you see that Central West Ham account saying that there's no way that he's going for anything less than £50 million and blah 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 blah. And then someone had quoted him. One of our guys had not OKB, but one of our followers had quoted him and saying something about, there's no way that any people is going to be worth anything when they're getting relegated or going down to Championship. Or like, fucking hell, that's literally your account saying that if you get relegated, then you've got no chance of either keeping your players or that they're going to go for anything, stupid sort of money. Yeah. And then he's saying that they're going to get 50 million for Bowen if he gets relegated, or they'll go down, he'll play in Championship for him. I'm like, you are off your fucking head.
Yeah, no, neither of those things happen. They do not get 50 million, and they do not get to keep him.
Michael God says, I've just got a feeling no one will come in and the board will continue to tighten their belts. I think we'll probably cover this a little bit more on a couple of main pods rather than this, because we are rambled on. We don't want to start, pulling that frigging string because we'll be here frigging all night. But yeah, I doubt that'll happen, if I'm honest, Michael. I think that the board have to back the team. You can clearly see that there's a few areas that we need to strengthen in and that we need more cover for. And they would be bloody naive to think that we've got enough at the minute, because it only takes one injury to say Calvert-Lewin or, dare I say, Aaronson or another one of the centre-backs. Ampadu, obviously, it's a massive miss for us, so we do need a little bit extra. Just a little bit more padding, just to keep us ticking over nicely. That just allows us to rest our players, because at the end of the day, he's going to have to rotate this squad, and has had to do in moments along this season.
Yeah.
Old Daniel. Yeah. So it is going to happen.
But he's rotated it really well, hasn't he? Because he has
really well.
Rodon got injured. He's brought in Ball now. We're all going, oh, shit.
Mate, I was slagging him off other week, and I said he was shit. I said if I saw him for Wednesday, and I'd really confident that he would do it. And do you know what? Fair play to him. He played really well. I mean, a lot of that opinion was based on what I saw against Wednesday, but also their fans' feedback when we signed him. They were all like, "Thank fuck for that. He's gone. He's dog shit," and blah blah blah. Thinking, "Ooh, this could be a banana skin." But we
had no Rodon or Ampadu or Bogle for the Scum game.
Yeah,
James Justin's done a real manful job when he's been called upon.
He were unlucky not to score as well on
He was. But some of the blocks that he puts in, he reads it really well.
Yeah, he's good. He's a very good defender.
Yeah, absolutely. So it will be interesting to see how that shapes up. And I am really hopeful that we do something. It's just not with any level of expectation, I think, is the point. Hope rather than expectation.
Yeah, I have seen that Cox. Apparently, Barno wants to leave. There's some interest in getting him on loan. We'll see.
Well, I don't think he'll go now.
I don't think he will now that he's been involved a little bit,
yeah.
And obviously, he will be. He'll definitely be playing against Derby in the cup, and he probably will get some more minutes throughout the season. So he's one of them, I suppose. But we'll see. Time will tell. Thank you everyone for joining us in the chat. It's been really good. You've been really, really throwing some right corkers at us this evening. Thank you, Gilly, for holding off and joining me on a Friday night when we should have been on last night, but someone
Happy birthday.
Ruined it all. Thank you very much. We will be back next week for a post-Derby, pre-Fulham chat. I'm not really sure because I haven't checked the rotor was going to be on, but it'll be Tuesday more than likely. So keep your eyes out for that one. Nothing else really to say, but thank you again, and we shall see you in a few days. Take it easy.
It's all to know better. We all to know much better than letting Carl go on with Jay. Luke's calling out bad weathers, and Smarty is no better, and Gilly gets fan mail again. But every time we go live,
shit take has been
can't speak or even tell the time.
It's Moratoy's out the pram.
It's all
if I see his mother
we
in the stands,
much better.
I'm
this
gonna crack an egg
show for tonight. And if you like these weapons and you don't think they're balance, please go check out our merch site. Good night.
Little tosser, and I hate him. He's shit. He's average, and he's a shit house.